All right, 3:20 here at the Mervet, so we'll get started. And as people come in here, they can ask questions as well. But just want you to know that there is that chat room available under the Tech Integration webinar channel, and the chat is available by clicking on chat room link. You can go there, and that'll bring you here, and you just put your name in, and you can ask your questions here. And I will be monitoring on another computer here, and so I can answer your questions as they come through. Okay. Also, you want to take note of the agenda for today, which is located on the webinar page as well. You can click through there. There's a link to the Gmail tutorial thing that I'm going to go through today. There's also another link to the chat room from there, and also a little survey to fill out as well towards the end. Just let me know what you thought of the webinar, and something that we can do either to make your experience better, or topics or anything along that line to submit that can go through there. Or you can just send me an email at braymo@mnrved.k12.mn.us. Also, don't forget to check out, if you're a DIGO member, our group on DIGO, and you can follow me on Twitter, as I'm on Twitter, and there's my my name, braymo22. Okay, so we'll get started here as we take a look at Gmail. And so you'll want to maybe take a look at the Gmail handout back on the Merved page. There's a Gmail handout right there. And here's the tutorial. I'm not going to follow it step by step, but pretty much everything in here is going to be covered. And hopefully, probably won't take quite 30 minutes today, but we'll do our best to be done at least by 3:50 anyways. And so you'll want to take a look at that as well, which is back on the page, Gmail handout. These will be archived. Give me about an hour after the presentation. And underneath webinar archive, last week's will be moved down to the list here, and this week's will be added. And so that's there as well. All right, Gmail. If you take a look at Gmail, you have a really clean interface for the most part. Now, as you notice too, mine might look just a tad bit different than yours at school, as Google Apps for Education is a little bit different than just regular Gmail, and really the only difference is going to be where your settings are located, and I'll make sure to hit on that as we go through. But as you take a look at your Gmail interface, up above you have tools, your apps for the most part. Now these will change depending on what your administrator has opened up for you, and so you can take a look, and this will bring you anywhere within your Google Apps suite or Google Apps that you're logged into. So if you have a calendar, documents, you can go through there, and then you have your Gmail. Along the left hand side you have another toolbar: Mail, Contacts, Tasks, Compose Mail, and then your inbox and your folders or your labels. And you might have the chat enabled at your school. That'll be there as well. Or if you've enabled any more labs, which we'll get into, you'll see your Google Calendar, things like that can be down there as well. Your other part of Gmail here, you have another toolbar at the top: Select All, Archive, Spam, if you want to mark messages as spam, delete messages, mark them as important, not so important. If you want to move something, just apply the label and leave it in the inbox, and then you have a more and a refresh. And so those are basically the different toolbars that you have available to you in Gmail. We're going to start, and we're going to spend a little bit of time going through settings a little bit. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on individual settings, but some of the more important ones that you're going to want to take a look at before we get into composing messages or anything like that. And so in your settings, you might have it either in your name, and then you'll have mail settings, or if they've switched over. Now this is where I'm not 100% sure, but if they've switched over, you're going to have this little gear in the right hand corner, and you're going to want to go to Mail Settings. Either way, you're going to want to find Mail Settings. It's either there or in the gear. Now underneath your general settings, we're going to want to go through here and take a look at what different ones do. Now this will be whether or not some of these things are going to change your experience with Gmail and what it looks like, what the page looks like. And so we're going to talk about those and hopefully make that a little bit easier for you to navigate through some of your messages. So under general, you can change your page size right here to, if you want to see 100 conversations per page, you can do that. Or if you only want to see 10, I like to leave it at about 50 to 100. You can show 250 contacts per page. We'll get to the contacts here in a second. If you do keyboard shortcuts, if you know anything about those, you can turn those on. Sometimes make things go a little bit faster. I tend to forget a lot of them, so I just leave them off. External content, if you want to display images without having to ask before downloading them, just leave that on. Browser connection, it's usually fairly good practice to use the HTTPS, partly because it's a little more secure. That's what the S stands for there, a little more secure. Conversation view, now you're going to have to play around with this one. This one, when it first came out, a lot of people liked it and a lot of people hated it. And so it's going to be whether or not your preference. Now what it is if you leave it on, what you're going to see is the messages are going to be grouped together, and so you'll have a number next to it. So if you get 4 emails from one person under the same thread, it'll just put a 4 next to it. If you turn it off, you're going to see those 4 individual emails in your email. And so I leave mine on just so I don't bulk up my email, because as you start getting a lot of replying back and forth, sometimes messages can get lost in that translation. So if you leave it on, it's a little bit, for me it was a little bit easier. Now you're going to have to experiment for yourself. You also have stars, and so you'll want to take a look at the stars, whether or not you want different colored stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, whatever. That's up to you as well. Desktop notifications, if you use Google Chrome, a little message will pop up and tell you that you have a new message. Otherwise, not a whole lot of browsers support that yet other than Google Chrome. And so if you're using Internet Explorer, Firefox, Safari, probably doesn't support the notifications. You can add a picture to your message so people can see you. The People widget, display information. Now if you ever have any questions about any of these, just click on the Learn More, and it'll send you to a page, kind of show you what we're talking about, if that's what you want. If you want to just try it, you can turn it on. You can always turn it back off. Important signals for ads, I turn those off. Signature, so this is where you can add your signature. If you're a teacher, you put in your contact information, and then phone number, email, whatever else, website you want to put in there. So at the bottom of each email you have your signature. Personal level indicators, I keep this off because it tends to jumble things up a little bit for me. You can try it, just tell you what it does there. I like to show snippets so I can see what's in that email. If you go on vacation or you're away for a while, you can turn that vacation responder on, and that'll respond to emails to say that you're out of the office or out of the classroom for a little while. And so that's done there. And then the other 2 you can just leave. Make sure you always hit Save Changes, and it'll bring you back to your inbox. So let's go back to Settings and take a look through the other ones here at the top. Labels, Accounts. Okay. Now labels is what Google calls folders for the most part. You can apply labels to your emails as they come in. It's going to be a filter, and we're going to get through that. And it's a way to keep your stuff organized. So in your old email, you had probably folders that you'd put messages into. Google calls them labels. And so under your settings, labels, you can choose to show and hide different ones. Okay, so we have buzz here. So if I want to hide that, I just click the hide button, and you saw it goes away over on the left-hand side. My drafts, if I don't want to see that, I just hide. Now if I want to see my all mail, I just click show. Okay, and so you have a set of system labels that can't be deleted, but you can choose to show or hide them. Now you can create your own labels, which will actually come, so if you see sent mail and below personal travel and 8 more, if you want to create your own personal labels, you just go to, again, your mail settings, labels, and create new label. And so we're just going to call this one the trial label and hit create. And so now you saw that it came up over here on the left hand side. You can also choose to hide these as well or delete these. So if I don't want this personal one, I can just remove it. And now it's no longer there. I can choose to show all these. I can change them by just clicking on them and typing. And you can edit them, remove them, whatever you want to do. Okay? And so the way I've set mine up is if I were a teacher, I would set up folders for different administrators, or if you're on a PLC group, set up a PLC folder, because you can set filters in every time something comes in. You can label that. Now the cool thing about the Gmail is you can change colors of these labels. And so along the left hand side, I've created trial label. And so if I just roll my mouse over this little arrow, there's a little box that you can see, and I click on it, it'll give me these options. And so I click blue. Now every time I label that message, I'll see a blue label that says trial label. Travel, if I want to change, I can add custom colors. You can show or hide from here as well, but you can select your colors. And so that's labels. And we'll get back to that as we start going into filtering. The accounts and import portion allows you to change your password, things like that. If you want to send mail as a different mail, give access to another account, all that stuff can go through accounts and import. You can import your mail and your contacts from something else. Remember, you just have to export it out of your old email, or export it out of something in order to import it. Now filters is another pretty cool option. And so if I want to create a filter, and what a filter does, every time I get a message coming in, I can filter that message to do something. And so for instance, if I want to apply the label, if I have my principal and I want to apply a label to my principal so I can see their email easily in my inbox, I go to filters, okay, back in the mail settings again, filters, and create a new filter. Okay. And for instance, I'm just going to use my name, but if you want to filter messages from me, you just type in the name from, which is from me, and you can do a test search to see if it catches it. You have to spell it correctly. You can do email to, from, and if you would have an email, or you can just do a name. And then you just hit next step, and you can see the other ones too, so you can set them up for that, but we're just going to do name. And so if I had messages in my inbox, you'd see messages from Brandon Raymo down here. And now I can choose, what do I want to do with it? Do I want to skip the inbox and archive it? Probably not. Do I want to mark it as read? No. If I want to star it, I can star it. And I can apply the label, and I can create a new label from here. So it says choose label. I'm going to create a new label, and we're just going to label that me. You can delete it, never send it to spam. So this is great. I don't ever want to send messages from myself to spam. You can mark them as important, never mark it as important. And if you have messages already from that person in your inbox, you just hit this box that says also apply filter and hit create filter. Okay, and now you'll see that filter underneath your filters option. And so anytime I get a message from me, which I'll do right here, so this is a test message, and I send it, it's starred, and it's been labeled. And so I can change the color here. Let's go this color. And now you can see that it's created this filter. And so for administration, if you have family, special ed, whatever, different emails that you want to filter and easily be able to filter those, that's an easy way to do it, and is under filter, mail settings, and filter. And so you can create filters down there. Okay. Now the forwarding, kind of going to leave that up to you to take a look at. You can forward your email off to to your phone, things like that, and that's all here. And so if you need to do that, you probably should talk to your tech IT person, and they can walk you through it. Your chat, if you want to save chat history, never save chat history because you have chat right down here. And your contacts will come up there, and you can actually video chat with them if that's been enabled by your tech person. Again, verifying your settings is all there. Voice, if you want to call somebody, different sounds, okay, all that stuff is in your chat. Now web clips, if this annoying little ad right here at the top of your email is annoying, that is under web clips. And all I do is I just click off of that. Make sure no, there's no save there, so you should be fine. Okay, so just click off of that, and that gets rid of that little annoying ad. Labs we're going to go through in just a second. Inbox, your inbox type, it'll tell you what do you want to do as messages come in. Do you want to keep the important message marker, turn it off? This actually gets kind of annoying, so I turn it off. And then make sure you hit Save Changes. It'll reload your email. And then we have to get back into mail settings. Offline, if your browser supports it, there'll be options there. I'm using Firefox. It does not support it. Themes, if I want to change the look of my email, that is under themes. And so if I want this bus stop one, oops, it'll ask you probably to change your region. And you hit save, and now your email changes. Mail settings, themes. I sometimes like to do the random one because it changes like every hour. Or you can create your own theme, and so you can take a look through that as well. So different themes of your email change the look from the boring old classic look or whatever, and so you can do that. Buzz, you don't have to worry about, we're not going to get into today. Okay, labs, we're going to go back to labs. And usually in the Google Apps domain, Google Apps for Education, there will be a beaker right here, right next to your name. Or it's in mail settings too, and in labs. So here's the beaker that might be up in your toolbar. Now what labs are, they are different things that Google tries, and they let you use them and give them feedback. So what you need to note is they may change, break, or disappear at any time. And in the probably 3-4 years I've been using Gmail, have never really had a problem with labs that I use on a regular basis disappearing. And so, but know that if they do, it's because they've given you this disclaimer at the beginning. And so as you take a look at these, you're going to enable them. And I'm just going to tell you the ones that I like to enable. I like the auto advance because this will, when I close out of a message, it'll automatically go to the next one, the newest one, or the oldest one, so I enable that. I also enable canned responses, because what canned responses allows you to do is it allows you to set up like template emails. And so I enable that. We're going to go through that here shortly as well. I also go to default text styling. It allows me to change what my text looks like in my email. I also enable my Google Calendar gadget so I can see that in my email. On the bottom, it'll be over here on the left. You'll see your Google Calendar without actually having to go into your Google Calendar. I also enable Google Docs previews, Google Maps previews, the message sneak peek, I like that as well. Now the preview pane, for some of you that like, I know that Outlook does this with, you can see your inbox over here. I'll show you what it looks like. We can turn it off, but your inbox is over here, and then on the right of that, you're going to have your message will pop up there. I'll show you that, and you can choose whether or not you like that or not. The signature tweaks I like to enable. Places your signature before any forwarded message. I also enable my undo send, because what happens sometimes if you've sent an email too quickly, you can undo that before it actually goes out, and so that's enabled. Also the unread message icon, I like that because up in your tabs you'll be able to see if you have any unread messages without having to go into your email. And when I'm done with that, I hit Save Changes. And your email will have to go out and it'll come back in. And so now you can see that you can toggle between your split view. And so if I want vertical, here's all my messages would be over here, and then if I have a message, it'll pop up over here as well. And so you can see there's my message I sent to myself. Or you can do it horizontally as well. Or you can just do no split and then it'll open up in a new page there. And so that's that preview pane that we had talked about. Now to reorient yourself, get yourself back to your mail, I always click on mail. It just sends me back to my home screen. Now some of those things that you've enabled, you'll have to go back through your general settings. And you're going to see some different things in there as well. Like here's your auto advance. So if you want to go to the newer one, or go back to your thread list, whatever you want to do. Your default text styling is in there as well. Your undo send is in there, your preview pane. And so your new ones are back into your general settings. Make sure you always hit save. Changes at the bottom in your general settings. Now, composing a message. So here's your compose a message. Your to, pretty simple. You can click on it if you want to select people, or you can just start typing in names and they'll come up. You can add a carbon copy, add a blind carbon copy. You have a subject line, attach a file. If you want to go find a file to attach, you can do that. Or here's your canned responses, what we just enabled. And so if I want this to be a canned response, what I do is I type out my email. So a template email. I'm just going to leave a little bit of a blank here. Had a good day. He has no homework. So if mom or dad wants you to email and you send this email all the time, granted it can be a little bit longer, make sure you delete your signature because your signature will go in there anyways. Canned responses, save, new canned response, and this is the good day email. Now when I want to use this email, I go back to my compose a message. So this is a new message, canned responses, insert good day, and there's my good day email. So Tom had a good day, he has no homework, and whatever. Granted, you can add whatever you want. And you can have different ones. So that's canned responses. Sending emails, pretty self-explanatory. Put in your, get your toolbar there and hit send. Now you also have contacts. If you want to set up groups, set up contacts. And we got about 5 minutes here before we reach the end, so we're going to go through contacts. And so here's, if you click on contacts, you can create new contacts here, or you can import them from an old email. So if you have an old email system, you can import them. And so you click on import, and then you're going to go find that file that you exported out of your old email. And so you can export it as a CSV or a vCard. And so in your old email, you have to go find that option to export. And then you're going to import it into Google. And the good thing about that is you're going to get a lot of them, and you can find and merge duplicates, what actually turns out to be, because if you have a lot of emails or a lot of contacts in your old email, and maybe you have new ones, old ones, you can merge them, find the duplicates, choose which one you actually want. This more here too in your contacts is a way to filter by first name or last name. Now if I want to create a new contact, so I'm going to create a new contact and just call this guy Tom, and his email is tom@gmail.com. And I hit save now. Now you can start adding your contacts, doing whatever. And so when you go back to your left, you go back to My Contacts. Now if you want to add a group, for instance, you have a PLC group and you have all your contacts in there already, just go to New Group, and we're going to name this one PLC. Okay, and so over here now you see you have PLC. And so what you want to do is go to My Contacts, and let's say I want these two people in that group. I click on the box to the left there, I go to Groups, and I add PLC, and I hit Apply. Now if you look on the right here, they're in my PLC group. So when I go to compose a new message, and I want to send it to my PLC group, there, if I just start typing PLC, it comes up, and there's those two emails. And so you can email the groups as well. And so that's under Contacts, and all you did was create a new group, and you labeled your group, made your group, and then you go back to your contacts, and then you just select the ones that you want. Now if you don't want somebody out of, if you want somebody out of your group, you can select that, and then you can take him out of your group by just clicking on Groups and clicking off of PLC, and now you've taken him out of your group. And so it's a good way to send out mass emails. Those groups also carry over to your Google Docs. And so that's also a pretty cool thing. So in your Google Docs, if you want to share with documents with the whole group, instead of sending out all massive email or having to type in all their email addresses all the time or select their single emails, you can share things with groups that way. And so today we've gone over kind of the basics of Gmail rather quickly. You might want to watch this one again. If I did go rather fast through things, and so it'll be in the archive portion of the Merved website. And also if you go back to the webinar channel and you go into the agenda for today, and you click on Survey URL. There's a little survey that you can fill out, and so you can tell me what you like, what you didn't like, what would you change, just to get some feedback of, number one, who was in attendance, because that's nice to know as well, because if there's a lot of attendance, we'll continue doing them. If attendance if it dwindles, then we'll find a different avenue to get this information out. But again, that's just under the agenda for Monday, October 10th, 2011. Just click on that. It'll send you to a Google Doc, and then there's a survey link there to access the survey. And so I'll hang on here for about another minute and see if there's any questions, and you can ask those questions in the chat room link, and I can answer those live. If not, our next webinar comes October 24th after EM break, and so enjoy your couple days off. And we'll go Introduction to Google Docs, and so we're just going to basically go through what Google Docs is and some of the ways to kind of manage your Google Docs. Probably not going to get into specifically using documents, presentations, spreadsheets, but we're going to kind of an overview of Google Docs. And so that'll be October 24th, and then probably following that, so the one in November will be using Google Docs probably in your classroom, and so because you need to know how to use it before you can use it in your classroom. Make sure to spread the word, and so I see there are really no questions coming in. Please complete that survey, spread the word about the webinar, and thanks for joining in. I see there's 6 people in today, and so again, thank you, and please spread the word so we can get more people into these webinars. And so again, if you have any questions, comments, fill out that survey or send me an email directly. And thanks everybody for tuning in today, and